Hi, this is Uma Mahesh from CRM Ones. In this video, I'm going to explain the overview of the code apps. Uh, Currently, it's a freebie feature of the Power Apps, but I will started here the sessions uh, for overview, and later we can do how we can build a code apps and how we can deploy in the D365. In this series, we'll be having this all the videos. So let me start with the first video with the overview of the code apps. So what is a code apps? Code apps, uh, code apps let the developers build the fully custom web apps using the code first IDE like a Visual Studio Code and Visual Studio Code while it is running them on the Power Platform as a managed environment. And the Power Apps empowers the developers of all the skill sets, including those building the web apps in the integrated developer environments like a Visual Studio Code to the sufficient to build and run the business apps and manage them in the platform. And code apps let the developers to bring the Power Apps capabilities into the custom web app built in a code first IDE. So you can develop locally and run the same app in the Power Platform. Build with the build with powerful frameworks. So like you can use the React, Vue and other UI while keeping the full control over the UI and logic. The key features of the code apps is it's a Microsoft Entra ID. So basically, it can be managing the security, enterprise graded security. So you can use the Microsoft Entra and authentication, Entra authentication and authorization, and also like it's a code first development. So you can build the apps with the React and the JavaScript within the Visual Studio Code, and you can use the Power Platform services in code. So you can access the Dataverse 1500 plus and and it can be callable from the JavaScript. Okay. And it is a managed hosting and deployment. It can be hosted within the Power Platform. Okay. And governance and compliance, we can respect with the DLP and app sharing limit in the tenant isolation. Okay. So to start with the uh, code apps, what are the tools is like a developer tools is a prerequisites to start that. So the first one is Visual Studio Code and Node.js. And if you want, we can use the Git or else like whatever the code repository you have, we can use it. And Power Apps CLI. So these all the tools are essentials for creating and building and managing the code apps. So basically, the code apps is part of the it's similar to the PCF control, but it's not the actual the way how it's a similar way of doing the PCF controls, but not exactly you can build a PCF control. So it's one type of the React app, React or Angular apps, how we can build. It's a single page applications, right? Later in this series, I can show how we can do, right? And when you start working on these code apps, currently we need to enable this feature in the Power Platform environment as an admin. So first what we have to do, we have to log in with the ad, admin.powerplatform.com as a Power Platform admin center and navigate the environments and select our environment. And when you click on the settings, you can select the features and then you can navigate to these feature and power apps, code apps. We can, there is a option there. You can enable code option. There is a toggle button. And when you click on save, that this feature will be enabled in our Power Platform environment. So here you can see in this screenshot, when you log into this environment, in my next videos, I can show how it is enabled. Okay. So here we can navigate to the environment and here you can see the features and once you have click on the features where you can see the power apps, code apps. So you can turn on this one. Once you click on the save button, this feature will be enabled. So licensing and developer resources. So the licensing requirement, all end users accessing or who are running the Power Apps code apps, they must be assigned to the Power Apps premium license, and licensing applies to the both application usage and executing scenario. So the developer resources, as Microsoft maintains the dedicated Power Apps GitHub repository. So repository access, we need to that. Add the issue management and community feedback. The developers can report any issues or anything we can report in the community. Current limitations are this in the code apps. The code apps are not supported on Power Apps mobile application and the Power Apps Windows and SharePoint forms. And native integration is currently unavailable for content security policy and platform level Azure application insights telemetry also it's not available, and there is no direct integration between the Power BI. And the other features is like a connector permissions, it will be supported, and apps sharing, we have a app sharing limit and application quarantine, and DLP prevention, we have data loss prevention, and admin consent, we need that. Okay. And thank you so much for watching this video.